Very good close friend of mine. He shops at the store with us. That's how we originally met him and started helping him on his fitness journey. But beyond that, we became acquainted. We built a friendship. We spent time together outside of the fitness field and things like that when we're not working out. But that's a relationship that we built originally through fitness. So just wanted to point that out because a lot of people think that fitness itself can be a hobby, and it can. But the camaraderie that comes with it, the friendships that you develop through it, are powerful and life-changing sometimes. Whenever we first met Jose, he had already lost a very good amount of weight, which was his goal. His goal was to get rid of a lot of excess weight that he had. I'm going to let him go into detail. So everybody, this is my friend Jose Vences.
Hi.
Jose, just give us a little overview. I know that you're a little camera shy. You're not used to doing things like this. But what I was telling him is that you never know when your story can impact somebody else's life. Whenever it can motivate them to do something they've really been holding back on, or something that they didn't know how to start. And that's exactly why we're going to be doing these stories about real people, real life. The encounters that you came across, that they had to overcome, all these obstacles that might have arose in their journeys in particular. But tell us, Jose, what originally prompted you? What was your weight when you first realized you had to change something about your life to become healthier?
I started off at 283. I was still going up, but I had gone in for a checkup, and they told me that I had high blood pressure. And I wasn't even 21 yet, and that's when it really hit me. I was like, not even 21, and I already have high blood pressure, and they're trying to give me medicine to control it. I thought to myself, I said, I got to change something. My way of eating, or I got to change my exercise habit. Because I didn't exercise at the time. I already had that mindset. If I'm fat, if I'm gonna die fat, I'm gonna die fat. I was really not gonna push myself. But when it's that close, that it can hurt you, it hurt your body. It's time to make change. That's where I started. 283. Did about 6-7 months of cardio, back to back, every day. It was started up 5 days a week. Then I bumped it up to 7 days a week, every day. Lost about 100 pounds, 6-7 months. With the help of extra nutrition, of course. But at first it was just cardio, every day.
So when you were doing your cardio before, exercise came into play, what would you do before? Besides your cardio, were you changing any of your eating habits? How long were you spending when you were doing cardio? I know you said you did cardio every day, but what were you doing, specifically?
At first, I didn't know what cardio was, so I would start just walking. I walked on a treadmill for I started off trying to walk a mile, built my stamina up, and try to get to the point, because I couldn't run constant, because my goal was first run a mile, be able to run a mile. And I started running, half a mile, and then I would walk the rest. And I kept building up, kept building up my stamina until I could run a mile. So then I started doing a mile every day, and then, I was like, okay, I can do a mile. It took me about 12 minutes to run a mile. So I was like, okay, if I can do a mile, I can do 2 miles, which is equivalent almost to 30 minutes of cardio. And then so I started doing 30 minutes, and then I was like, why not I bump it up to an hour? So I started doing an hour of cardio every day. And then I decided, well, I'm gonna try out the bicycle. So I bumped it up to an hour of running, and after that it'd be an hour on the bike every day. Basically 2 hours a day of just cardio, and then hit a little bit of weights. By the time I wasn't aware of how much cardio I did would affect how much my muscle was. So I ended up losing quite a bit amount of muscle. I got to a point where everybody was telling me I was too skinny.
That's crazy. So tell me one thing. You mentioned that you were doing, an intense amount of cardio, on your own and things like that, and then eventually started doing a little more weight training. What kept you going through those times? Because I know that I've recently started doing cardio and things like that myself. But a fan, I've always enjoyed working out, lifting weights. These last couple of years, but I've never really gotten into the cardio aspect of it. And sometimes, it's tough because you're sitting, on a treadmill and you get tired of walking. Not necessarily tired, but bored. So what kind of kept you going? I mean, did you watch, YouTube, or did you listen to music? What were things that helped you whenever you didn't want to, finish off your session?
Honestly, when you see the changes in your body, it's a good amount of motivation. You say, okay, I've gotten this far. I can go a little farther. I can make my body look a little better. I just got to put more time into it. And yeah, you can get bored. I just listen to music. Thought about my life. Honestly, when you're sitting there for an hour walking or running, you think about what your whole life, what you're doing to change your life right now. But to comparing to what you weren't doing, you go home and just sit on the couch. And I got to the point where I was like, what was I doing in my life, just going home, not doing nothing? So now I can do something to motivate myself to change my life. And yeah.
So you went from being 200 and you said 80 pounds? 83 pounds to what? 170?
170.
So you've lost well over 100 pounds now.
Yeah.
Whenever you were constantly working, was there points where you just gave up or you fell off for a while, or did it happen before or during? Because I know that there's times where even me, this is probably, I've only consistently been training for like a year now, personally, without stopping. But prior to that, I mean, I'd fall off a month, 2 months, 3 weeks, things like that here and there sporadically, to where it would interrupt my progress. Did you ever have that or did you just set in your mind and say, this is what I'm going to do, and made it happen?
That's one thing about me. I do have I like to set my mind to it. When I do it, I like to stick to it. Because honestly, when I first started, 2 months, 3 months in, I thought I would have quit. I had already tried to lose weight before, and it didn't work out. But for the same fact that I didn't have any education on how to do it, what to eat, how to make it all work to make your body lose weight. What all had to come into factor to do it. But yeah, I had those off days. I would come from work, sit in the parking lot, look and say, is this really worth it? I'm gonna go in here and run for an hour. And then I would drive off, go home. So, I'm gonna go home. And some of those days I would go, I'm gonna go eat fast food. I would go get fast food, eat it, and when I was done, I'd regret it. Be like, you know what? I've come this far. Why am I gonna? This is what got me to be overweight. Fast food. I said, if I've come this far, why can't I just push myself to go a little farther? Cut it out. If I stick to it, why not stick to it a little more? And then I'd come back the next day, and yeah, I'd hit it a little twice as hard, because that was just in my mind. I messed up the day before. I'm gonna come try to burn this off. But I did have those off days like that.
So was it different from previously to when you were falling off and not sticking with your goal of dropping all that weight? Was the difference that now you knew that you had a health condition, and that if you didn't do something drastic right there and then going forth, that you might have other bigger problems to worry about? Is that really what set it off for you and made you say, hey, it's time to get to work, it's time to stick with it, because even if it's hard, I have to do this? Was that the changing factor, or was there other things involved in that?
It was part of that, because diabetes runs in the family. Mom has diabetes. Other family members have diabetes. We're all overweight. We were an overweight family. But yeah, I mean, like most, I guess a lot of people get bullied. Look, good thing I made it through high school without any, traumatized or anything like that, because I didn't let that get to me. But I was bullied. That played a lot. It lowered my self-esteem. To the point where I was like, you know what, I'm not even going to worry about it anymore. This is how I am. This is how I'm going to be. But yeah, that played a lot too. That helped me motivate me. So once you see the result, it starts to bring your self-esteem up. little by little, little by little. Once you start seeing you can fit in those clothes that you couldn't fit, you were struggling to find clothes before. Cause I wore up to a 3X. I had to go to the big people's stores to find bigger clothes, and it was even tough. And then once you start going to stores, say, oh, I'm gonna buy a new shirt, and you see that you can fit into a large or a medium. You're just like, come this far. It's a place of big. It's a good motivator. Keep going.
Absolutely, man. Anytime you have progress, it's addicting. That's one of the reasons why I've stuck with weight training personally. But no, that's a big factor too, man. Because people don't realize that when there's hereditary problems in the family, that we have to be that much more conscientious about the problems that could arise, with being overweight. And we're living in a time where, all our food is full of, hormones and probiotics and things like that, from how the animals were raised. And like we said earlier, when fast food is so easy to obtain, when people are always in a rush, we live in a world where people would rather take the time to watch TV than to sit down, one day at home and cook their meals to have, healthier food. Because even when you go to restaurants, and even if you think you're eating healthy, you don't know how that piece of fish or that piece of steak was cooked. I mean, they could have drowned that thing in butter or oil to saute it on a flat grill or something. It's one of those things. But that's awesome, man. And I'm glad that you took that change, that decision, to change your entire life. Because you're from one of the times that I've spent with you, I know that you have a lot of potential in you to do anything that you want to do, man. A lot of times people say that they want to lose the weight because of health conditions. They want to lose it because of this or that, or like you said, they might be getting bullied, but they never go through it with it because they don't have the conviction to stick with something. A lot of times, the deciding factor is not even your why or your reason to accomplishing something. The deciding factor is to make sure that you're consistent, persevere, and you stay doing what you said you were out to do. Because you can lose your motivation, but if you put in a routine in play and you're like, this is my routine, this is what I have to do, and just pound it out, that, in my opinion, goes a lot further than being motivated. Because there are days where you're not going to be motivated. Where, like you said, you have to force yourself to go in there. But if you have that routine set up in there, if you have that habitual routine in your life, then it's a lot different, because it's something that you do. Whether you're feeling good or you're feeling bad, or whether you're hungry or you're not hungry, it's like, hey, it's time for my hour of cardio. So tell me, you said that one of the reasons why you stopped the first time was because you didn't have the education needed to know how to lose the weight, what kind of foods to change out to, workout regimen, things like that. When did that start changing? What did you start doing? What are some of the things that brought you knowledge?
Honestly, social media started playing a big role. I would look things up, so like that. I would come to you and ask you for questions. Ask you questions of what should I eat, how should I control what I eat, and because a lot of people starve themselves and do a lot of cardio. And I'm not gonna lie, I did that. I got to one point where I would eat 1 meal a day and come do cardio 2 hours. And then as I got more knowledge, I was like, that's not the way to go. That's not the way you should do it. It's going to end up hurting you more than helping you.
And it's not healthy, and a lot of times people, instead of losing weight, put on weight. Which is crazy. You wouldn't think that it works like that. But when you have a gap, in your nutrition, your body's going to try to figure something out. And what ends up happening is a lot of times you start building up a surplus, a pantry per se, in your body of fat, because your body doesn't know when you're going to starve it again and deprive it of nutrients that it needs. But keep going, Jose. You were saying that you were social media. You talked to me a couple of times about different things. What else were you doing? Where else was your knowledge come from?
That pretty much, and then I started counting my calorie intake. How many calories I would intake, how many calories I would burn, and that would help me track how much I would lose up to a day up to a month, to a week to a month. That's how I started going. And then I was afraid of the protein, because people would like to say you eat protein, you gain weight, which is not the case. It actually helps you nutrify your body while you're doing cardio or something like that. And yeah, just came to you, told me to start taking amino acids during my workouts to supply your body with all the nutrients it needs while you're exerting all the energy.
Yeah. That keto that he said is that he started using protein and aminos. To me, those two are essential items. If you can eat 6 whole meals a day, by all means, nothing can replace whole foods. Nothing. No matter how great the supplement is. I'm in that particular industry, but I'll tell my clients all the time, that if you're not eating your meals, at least 4 solid meals a day from actual food, your body's being deprived of nutrients here and there. And supplements are there to fill in gaps. Yes, that is exactly why they're there for. That's exactly why I always suggest using amino acids and protein with any regimen, because no matter what you're trying to do, protein is essential for developing new tissue to make sure that you're feeding your body. A lot. You can go a day where you eat chicken or fish or steak or something lean with a vegetable, and your body will have the energy it needs. You might feel a decline at first if you're used to having a lot of carbs, but your body will still end up getting healthy fats and things like that from the meats and the greens that you're eating and things like that for your protein. It's essential for like a tissue and not just muscle. People think that your body just creates muscle tissue with protein, and that's not the case. I mean, your body uses protein for a lot of different things. The fluid in your eyes, your bone health, organ health. I mean, the hair that you're growing, your scalp, skin. I mean, there's a lot of different things. The body uses protein to create a lot of different new tissues in your body. And people don't know that. And the reason why I always say that amino acids are essential is because they help preserve your existing muscle, while allowing you to burn higher amounts of fat. They trigger protein synthesis, which is a big fancy word for, the process where the body creates tissue out of protein. Those amino acids, are composed of, leucine, isoleucine, and valine. All of those work synergetically to help you, to make sure that when you're doing your fasted cardio in the mornings, or extended amounts of cardio, allows you to burn the max amount of fat while reducing the loss of muscle mass. So that's why it's very important. I'm glad that you started using those products. So we're about to wrap things up here in a little bit. The video won't go on much longer. But tell us, what is one of the biggest things that motivated you besides seeing your progress? Was there somebody that you followed on Instagram, or somebody that your videos you watched on YouTube? What's a good thing to kind of do when you're getting a slump? Like you said, when you have to force yourself to go to the gym and work out, or just force yourself to eat the meals. Because I'm assuming you were eating healthier, right?
Yeah. The meals, like a lot of people say, they don't taste good, this and that, but you're not doing it for the taste. Like a lot of people say, it's for your health, But yeah, just you go to, because I was eating once a day, pretty much starving my body. So you have to go to start eating your 3 meals a day. Your breakfast is a very important, plays a great factor in your health. Your breakfast, your lunch, and your dinner after workouts, And but honestly, there is people out there to help you motivate. You see other people change, like their before and after. You see the pictures, like, you know what, I can do that. You just got to stick to it. It's like it's dedication. Dedication. You got to stay dedicated. If not, you're gonna fall off easy. Anyway, even if somebody, there's always gonna be somebody to put you down. Somebody's gonna say something that's gonna make you think, is this really even worth it? It's like all the work I'm putting in is it worth it at all? But you just have to overcome all those negative comments or anything that somebody will say, and because the positive comments will always outweigh the negative ones, always.
How good did it feel when people started seeing you change? How good was that?
It was great, honestly, man. I had family that didn't even recognize me.
That's awesome.
That shook my hand.
You know when Aunt Sally comes to town and you're like, "Where's Jose?" Like,
yeah,
that's me, Tia. That's me, Tia.
Shake my hand and then sit down and then have to look at me twice and tell me, "Are you Jose?" Yeah, it's me. Like, what happened? What'd you do? Just started exercising. Found something to do with my life. And like I said, it's not a hobby or anything. It turns into a lifestyle.
That is powerful, man.
It turns into a
that
lifestyle. You don't just I have to go to the gym or after work or this and that. It's just like, no, it's part of my lifestyle. I'm going to go to the gym. It's like you don't even think I have to go. Should I go? Should I not? You're gonna go because you know you have to do it. In your mind, you're used to it. Your body's used to it. And if you don't do it, and you go home and slouch off, you feel it. You're like, what did I do with my day? I did nothing with my day.
I've had those days before too. That's awesome, dude. No, like I said, the whole family not recognizing people. But yeah, man, no, it's very rewarding because it feels great when you can see the progress when other people are telling you. You know, it's tremendous, man. So keep that in mind. A lot of times, you know, it takes time, and people don't realize that it's not going to happen in 2 weeks. You know, you're gonna have to go through a little rough patch, but it's possible. You can get there and make it happen. But Jose, thank you so much because you know there's people out there. I know that you told me before that people reach out to you and ask you, you know, hey, what did you do? You know, and you're honest with them. You know, the reality is not all of them are gonna do the work because it is hard. It's not easy. Don't get us wrong. It's fun and it does become a lifestyle. You enjoy it, but getting there is a little rough sometimes because it does take time out of your day, and it does take, you know, drive. It takes routine. It takes you having to, you know, really set your mind up for doing it. But thank you so much, Jose, for spending time with us. You know, I'd like to visit later on down the road with you and kind of see where you're at because I feel like you're not done. I feel like you've accomplished your weight loss goals, but I know that you've been doing weight training and things like that, and I'd like to touch bases on that. But thank you so much, brother. Appreciate your help.